Why GPT-5.6 Sol was too powerful for a normal launch. OpenAI's GPT-5.6 Sol turns frontier AI into a national security test. OpenAI's GPT-5.6 Sol has not arrived like a normal model update. It has entered the market through a limited preview, government coordination, and an unusually explicit safety process, showing that frontier AI is now being treated as strategic infrastructure rather than ordinary software. The immediate story is access. GPT-5.6 Sol is the flagship model in a new family that also includes Terra and Luna. But during the preview, it is not available to ordinary ChatGPT users, individual consumers, or public applicants. OpenAI says the model is being made available through the API and Codex only to selected trusted partners and organizations with an OpenAI account representative. Who GPT-5.6 Sol is available to. For now, GPT-5.6 Sol is available only to a narrow group of approved organizations. Access is not a broad self-service program, and a paid ChatGPT subscription does not provide entry. There is no public application form, no open waitlist, and no route for normal consumer accounts to request access. Approved users may receive access through the OpenAI API, Codex, or both, depending on what their organization has been cleared to use. That distinction matters because approval is scoped to specific API organizations and Codex workspaces, meaning even an invited company may not automatically have access across every internal team or product environment. OpenAI says the wider GPT-5.6 family will expand beyond the preview, but its own support material states that a general availability date has not been announced. Fresh reporting indicates that a broader rollout has now been approved after further testing and official discussions, but the official position remains that the current preview phase began with restricted trusted access. What GPT-5.6 Sol improves. GPT-5.6 Sol is positioned as OpenAI's strongest model yet, with gains across coding, scientific work, cybersecurity, computer use, and professional knowledge tasks. The model family is split into tiers. Sol is the flagship model, Terra is the balanced lower-cost option, and Luna is the fastest and most cost-efficient version. The most important technical change is deeper reasoning. Sol introduces a new max reasoning effort, giving the model more time to work through difficult tasks. It also introduces an ultra mode that uses subagents to accelerate complex work beyond what a single agent can handle alone. For developers, the biggest claim is stronger performance on coding workflows. OpenAI says Sol sets a new state-of-the-art on Terminal Bench 2.1, a benchmark focused on command-line tasks requiring planning, iteration, and tool coordination. That suggests the model is not just writing code snippets, but handling longer software engineering workflows with more autonomy. The science gains are also significant. OpenAI says GPT-5.6 Sol performs better on long-horizon genomics and quantitative biology analysis while using fewer tokens than GPT-5.5. On GeneBench v1. In cybersecurity, the company says Sol is its most capable model yet, improving performance on vulnerability research, exploitation-related tasks, and defensive security workflows. Why the government review happened? The review happened because GPT-5.6 Sol is powerful in areas that are useful and dangerous at the same time. A model that helps defenders find vulnerabilities, patch systems, and test networks can also assist attackers if safeguards fail. A model that improves scientific research can also raise biological and chemical misuse concerns if it is pushed into prohibited territory. OpenAI's own system card treats Sol, Terra, and Luna as high-capability models for both cybersecurity and biological and chemical risk. That does not mean the models reach the company's highest critical threshold, but it does mean they were strong enough to require heavier safeguards, more testing, and a phased release. The cyber finding is especially important. OpenAI says GPT-5.6 Sol and Terra can find vulnerabilities and pieces of exploits, But in testing, they did not carry out autonomous end-to-end attacks against hardened targets. That is the central contradiction of the release. The model is powerful enough to worry governments, but not powerful enough for OpenAI to classify it at the most severe risk level. That uncertainty explains the limited preview. OpenAI says it previewed its plans and the model's capabilities to the US government before launch. At the government's request, it began with trusted partners whose participation had been shared with officials, giving more time for testing and coordination before broader release. The new safety stack around Sol. GPT-5.6 Sol launches with OpenAI's strongest safety stack so far. The safeguards include model-level refusals, real-time checks during generation, account-level signals, monitoring, enforcement, and differentiated access. In higher-risk cyber and biology requests, responses may be paused while additional safety systems inspect the conversation. The company also says it has spent multiple weeks pressure testing the system against real-world attacks. Its system card says expert testers and external evaluators searched for gaps, while automated red teaming used more than 700,000 GPU hours to look for universal jailbreaks. That scale shows how serious the release category has become. This is no longer the old model launch rhythm of benchmark charts, demo videos, and public excitement. The new question is whether a frontier model can be made powerful enough to help defenders, scientists, and developers without also making dangerous workflows easier for hostile actors. GPT-5.6 Sol is an attempt to answer that through controlled access rather than immediate mass release. How it could change the AI game. GPT-5.6 Sol could change the AI game because it shifts the competition from raw intelligence to controlled deployment. The leading frontier models will not only be judged by benchmark scores, they will be judged by who gets access, what safeguards surround them, how governments respond, and whether the most advanced capabilities reach trusted users before adversaries. For enterprises, early access could be a major advantage. A stronger coding and cybersecurity model can compress software development, vulnerability research, debugging, patch design, and internal automation. If Sol performs as advertised, organizations with access may move faster than competitors that are still using older frontier systems. For developers, the pricing structure also matters. Sol sits at the premium end, while Terra and Luna create cheaper paths for everyday work and high-speed deployment. That suggests the next AI market will be tiered by capability, cost, and risk profile, rather than dominated by one universal model for every task. For governments, GPT-5.6 Sol sets a precedent. Once a model is seen as powerful enough to affect cyber defense, biological research, and national security, officials will want visibility before public deployment. That could create a repeatable review process for future frontier releases, especially if AI companies continue building systems with stronger agentic and dual-use capabilities. For users, the immediate downside is obvious. The most powerful tools may not reach the public first. The upside is that staged access could reduce dangerous misuse while giving defenders time to harden systems. The strategic risk is that if democratic countries slow access too much, adversaries or less cautious labs may close the gap. GPT-5.6 Sol is therefore more than a model preview. It is a signal that frontier AI has entered a new phase where capability, safety, national security, and market power are now locked together. The AI race is no longer only about building the best model, it is about who controls the gate before the model reaches the world.